The Vietnam War was a protracted conflict that occurred in Vietnam from 1955 to 1975. It was fought between the Communist forces of North Vietnam, supported by the Soviet Union and China, and the non-communist forces of South Vietnam, supported by the United States and other anti-communist allies. The war had profound political, social, and humanitarian consequences, both for Vietnam and for the international community. Causes: Cold War context. The Vietnam War was part of the broader Cold War struggle between the United States and the Soviet Union. The United States aimed to prevent the spread of communism, while the Soviet Union supported communist movements around the world. Division of Vietnam. Following the Geneva Accords of 1954, Vietnam was temporarily divided at the 17th parallel, with North Vietnam under communist rule and South Vietnam led by a non-communist government. Political instability. South Vietnam faced political turmoil, with a series of coups and weak governance undermining its stability and effectiveness. Key events. Escalation. The United States gradually increased its military involvement in South Vietnam, providing military advisors, equipment, and economic aid to the South Vietnamese government. This led to a growing American military presence. Gulf of Tonkin incident. In 1964, the U.S. claimed that North Vietnamese naval vessels had attacked American destroyers in the Gulf of Tonkin. This event prompted the U.S. Congress to pass the Gulf of Tonkin Resolution, which authorized the escalation of American military involvement in Vietnam. U.S. military campaign. The United States launched a large-scale military campaign involving airstrikes, ground combat, and the deployment of troops. The U.S. forces aimed to defeat the communist insurgency and support the South Vietnamese government. Tet Offensive. In 1968, North Vietnamese and Viet Cong forces launched a major offensive throughout South Vietnam, targeting several key cities. Although the communist forces suffered heavy losses and military setbacks, the offensive had a significant psychological impact, leading to a reassessment of the war effort by the American public. American withdrawal and fall of Saigon. By the early 1970s, U.S. public opinion turned against the war, leading to a gradual withdrawal of American troops. In 1975, North Vietnamese forces launched a major offensive, resulting in the capture of Saigon and the reunification of Vietnam under communist rule. Outcome: communist victory. The war ended in 1975 with the victory of North Vietnam and the reunification of Vietnam under communist rule. The country was subsequently named the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Humanitarian impact. The war had devastating consequences for the Vietnamese people, resulting in a high number of casualties, displacement, and widespread destruction. It also caused significant environmental damage due to the use of defoliants such as Agent Orange. Legacy and division. The Vietnam War left a lasting impact on Vietnam and the world. It contributed to political divisions within the United States and led to a reevaluation of U.S. foreign policy. It also heightened anti-war movements and influenced subsequent conflicts and interventions.